Hey guys, Crystal here, and we are going to do a shampoo bar today. I will tell you what is all in my oils as soon as I get my lye in there, because my lye is cooling off, and everybody knows if you put cold lye into hot oils, it causes a big old volcano. So I'm going to go ahead and get my lye in there before it cools off anymore. Listen, will you rinse this out for me? Put it on low, shall we? Is tracing very fast. Very, very fast. Alright, it's already traced. And we're just doing a small amount of oils, just a 2.5 pound batch. This looks like it's going to cook pretty fast, so I'm going to talk while this cooks. Next stage will be applesauce stage, and I'm going to talk while that cooks in here. I'm going to tell you what my oils are today, and I'm not putting any herbs or anything in it because I used infused oil for some of my my main oils in here. So my recipe, I'm not going to tell you percentages or anything, but I will tell you what I have in it. I've got sweet almond oil, I have castor oil, coconut oil, hemp seed oil, jojoba oil, olive oil, and palm oil. I'll tell you the statistics on this real fast too, the ranges, and I use soap calc, so if you guys are familiar with soap calc. And my hardness is a 32, which I put sodium lactate, stearic acid, fine sea salt, and I discounted my water to make up for the hardness of the bar, to try to get it a little bit harder. And my cleansing is a 17, which is that's really good. I didn't really want to go above a 17 because it could be drying. Coconut oil can be drying at a certain point, and then you would have to up the super fat if you up your coconut oil, and I'm only super fatting this at 3%. I have found with trial and error with making several shampoo bars that anything above 3% leaves our hair oily, and it makes it look like it hasn't been washed in days. So 3% was my sweet spot with my recipe. So my conditioning is at a 61. That is pretty high. I'm using pretty good conditioning oils. My bubbly is a 23, which is really good. My creamy is at a 27, and the other two I don't really got to worry about because I'm doing hot process. So also what I'm going to be using is what is in here. This is hydrolyzed wheat protein, and in this I have DL-panthenol, which is provitamin B, provitamin B5, and then I also have vitamin B3 inside of this wheat protein, and I did discount my water for the wheat protein. That is 5% DL-panthenol and 3% vitamin B3 into 3 ounces of hydrolyzed wheat protein. It looks like this. I got this, I believe, from Ingredients to Die For, it sounds like, and you got to keep it refrigerated. So, there we go. Started rising on me. See, I'm glad I caught that in time. And we're doing a pretty steep water discount, so my oils are going to react that way because of the water discount. And with discounting the water, I also discounted it for my wheat protein, 3 ounces. So this is a very, very, very strong lye solution. And I've turned my crock pot off. It doesn't need to be on now. it's gotten hot enough. It got up to 180 degrees. And then it'll get even hotter because of the lye that got put in it. So it'll get hotter and it'll stay hot. And it'll cook. So right now we're in the applesauce stage. And I just had to hurry up and stir that down. And we're going to keep our lid on there. And for my olive oil, I used chamomile infused oil and rosemary infused oil instead of regular olive oil. And the oils are infused in extra virgin olive oil. So I didn't put just straight olive oil in there. I did use an infusion. So I am using herbs. I'm just not putting dry herbs into my shampoo bar. I'm not adding any scent or anything. So this is just going to be a plain white bar. Like I said, I'm not adding extra super fats. I super fatted this recipe, and I let Soap Calc figure out the super fat at 3%. Like I said just a second ago, I found that 3% is my sweet spot when it comes to my shampoo bars. It gets my hair clean, but it also conditions it at the same time. But anything above 3, it doesn't work for me or my family. So it's rising again, so I'm going to go ahead and stir it back down. Once this thickens up just a little bit, we're going to use our stick blender. And I always like to tell you, I use 2 different methods when I use hot process soap, when I cook hot process soap. I let it cook for a minute, just like regular hot process. And I start out with hot lye and hot oils. And then it goes from a very thin mashed potato, applesauce stage like it is now, to a lightweight mashed potato consistency. Once I reach that consistency, then I stick blend. And I stick blend to get a volcano. And what the volcano means is that it's cooking the lye. And I let it volcano as much as it wants to. Sometimes I only have to stick blend once. Sometimes I have to stick blend 2 or 3 times. It just depends. It really depends from batch to batch. This is going to cook pretty fast because it's got a strong lye solution. The stronger the lye solution, I have found, the stronger the lye solution, the faster the cook. So, yeah. So we're going to let this cook and do its thing. We're going to wait until like the thin mashed potato consistency. And then we'll bring you back, guys, when it's time to stick blend. So stay tuned. And a little bit thicker, so it's time to stick blend now. If I can get my, there we go. Now this is my cheap stick blender, so I'm hoping it'll be able to handle it. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick blend till we get a volcano. And that's what we want, is the volcano. That's the whole point of stick blending. Huh? Go get it. It's not really volcanoing that much. It's rising a little bit, but not very much. It's just cooking really fast is what it's doing. It is rising though. It's volcanoing a little bit. And the reason why you can't see it all that well, guys, is because this is just a little 2.5 pound batch. This isn't my big 5.5 pounder. What? Put them over there. I know. I know. So it is volcanoing. You just don't see it. Let me stir it a little bit here. So I definitely want to have to stick blend again.
They reached over Daddy.
Well, we done went and paid them. So that is cooked very fast. Didn't take no time at all. Do you see the Vaseline look? That means it is done. So I'm going to I actually turned my crock pot back on low. So I'm going to turn it off and just mix this up just a little bit. Alright, and what I like to do once I get to this point is just put the lid back on it and let it set for a good, I don't know, 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and add our wheat protein with our vitamins in it. So I'm just going to let it rest and we'll be back. We've let it set. And it's still very good and fluid, actually. Even with that big old water discount, look how fluid that is. That is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and add our hydrolyzed wheat protein and our vitamins. And I'm adding it cold, where we're not putting any fragrance or dyes or anything into this. It doesn't really matter if you add it cold or hot. But I am adding it a little bit cold. And I'm going to go ahead and add my glycerin. Glycerin is a humectant and it draws moisture to the hair and the skin, so it's really good. So let's get that all mixed up. And of course it's going to make it go fluid. Look, yep. That wheat protein made it go very fluid, actually. It's got a couple little chunks in there. See how fluid that is now? I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, it's very, very fluid. That doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean that the cure time will be longer or anything like that. It's just went fluid from where I added the 3 ounces of liquid of the wheat protein. And I'm just mixing it up real good. And I want to throw some oatmeal into my shampoo bar. Oatmeal is good for your hair and for your skin. So let's put a little bit of oatmeal in it.
Is that baby oatmeal?
Yeah. But as far as additives go, that's the only additive I am adding is oatmeal. Just got to get it stirred in good. And the vitamins that we put in there is going to be great for your hair. It's going to be awesome for it. Just going around the sides, making sure that I get everything and get this oatmeal mixed in real good.
Ready to eat the rest of the potato salad.
Okay. Alright, this is still very, very hot, but we can go ahead and add it to our mold now. Just make sure all that oatmeal is good and mixed in. And it is. So I'm going to take it out of its thing and let it cool for a minute before I add it, because I'm just going to dump it in there. But this is a little bit too hot to touch, so we'll be right back. We're just going to go ahead and throw this in my mold. Here's my mold. It's just my little 2.5 pound mold.
Here.
It's still very hot, but let's see.
So she's using my pajamas.
So I'm going to use her pajamas to kind of hold it. Oops, I went it.
Because I lost all the oven mitts.
Yeah, she did. She lost all of our oven mitts. Whoa. That is way more. We're going to have to... Let's get me some individual molds.
What do you mean?
Like my heart mold, my sunflower mold. Hurry. It don't matter if it's little bits in it. Just let me see it. Let me see it. Okay, so
Shut her. Quit growling.
let's get this in this mold.
Shut up.
What's he growling at?
I can do the potato Lysol, but no, I shouldn't have foamed over it. Oh, here's the molds. And they're in the dishwasher. The heart one is so it's sunflower. I'm sorry.
That's alright. We'll shove it in this one. It's just shampoo bars, not like it's got to be fancy. Alright guys, that is it. That is how I make my shampoo bars. That one looks a little funkified, but we've got this one. That one looks good. I'm not going to show the cutting because, well, the cutting is just that, the cutting. But I want to thank you for joining me today, and this is how you make shampoo bars. So if you like this video and want to see future videos, then go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit the like button. You know, if you like it, I'd appreciate it. And comment. Love it when you guys comment. It truly does. It makes my day and puts a big old smile on my face. Alright guys, till the next video. Bye-bye.